Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the World Guide Awards 2023. I'm Lynn Hughes, the founding editor of Wanderlust, and over the next hour, we're going to be celebrating 11 of the best guides and tour leaders in the world. This year's Guide Awards is kindly supported by Alula and Swarovski. So to kick things off, let's hear from Alula, an emerging destination and who take their guides very seriously.
أغمض جفوني أتخيلك، وبزمان اللحظة تحيا شجوني، والفي على بابك والقلب يلفاك، وهذا الصخر ينبض بلقياك. أمشي وكفي صافح صفحة هضابك، وحبات الرمل تهمس تعال هلابك. أدري إني أسيرة حضورك، وبنسى خطوتي بين فيافي غرورك. لك في فؤادي هيبة ورغبة وسمت، وبلحظة أتخيلك وغمض جفوني. عيون القلب هي اللي تشوفك مو عيوني، لأنك مكان يهدينا رحلة لأعظم تحفة عرفها الزمن.
Hello everyone and mahaba. It's my pleasure to say a few words on behalf of the Royal Commission for Alula. Firstly, a big thank you to Wanderlust, to George, Lynn and all of the team for their recognition of travel guides and this evening's event. Alula is a special place, and as Saudi Arabia welcomes international tourism, Alula has become somewhat of a jewel in Arabia's crown. It's a destination with monumental landscapes, providing outdoor adventure, wellness experiences, culture and arts, and all alongside an incredibly rich historical heritage. It's steeped in history, 200,000 years of human history that can be traced right back to the Stone Age, and also includes 5 successive civilizations over 3,000 years, which include the kingdoms of Dedan, of Lian, and of the Nabateans at Hegra, which was the southernmost and sister city of Petra. Alula has been at the crossroads of civilizations for centuries, its large green oasis providing a place of safety and comfort for pilgrims and travelers along the incense route. Today, it's evolving as a crossroads of cultural heritage. Welcoming travelers is inherent to its local people. Today, Alula offers a scholarship program, inviting its youth to study overseas in the USA, in the UK, and across Europe. And this provides the opportunity to earn a degree in agriculture, in archaeology, or in hospitality and tourism. And this is supporting sustainable development of this region through its younger generations. In Alula, the Royal Commission has also focused on its own guides, the Rawi, which translates as a storyteller. Each Rawi escorting our tours has specialist knowledge of Alula's heritage sites and its history. But most importantly, these young men and women share unique and local insights into their culture and people. and often retell the stories of their own treasured traditions, which have been handed down through generations. They have become the country's first official storytellers and ambassadors. And tonight we recognise and celebrate all the wonderful guides that make the world of travel so special. So good luck to all of those nominated this evening, and thank you.
Right, thank you to Clara Tallulah. So what I'd like to do now is welcome two of our terrific judges on. So we've got John Telfer here and Paul Goldstein. So welcome fellow judges.
Good evening.
Evening. So to explain to the people watching about how we go through the process, we had, I think it was over 3,000 nominations this year, and it is such a tough job to just even get it down to a short list. So thank you to everybody who sent in nominations. We had tremendous stories and testimonials come through. We got that down, and it was very difficult to 11, and then the judging panel convened. And of course, then it gets even tougher. I mean, John, the first time this year as one of the judges. How did you find that?
It was fascinating. It was lovely to be involved. But you had to draw a line at a very high bar. So being an excellent person with logistics wasn't good enough. Excellent with multiple languages wasn't good enough. Excellent with facts is not good enough. Excellent with people was not good enough. It was a combination of all those areas and being exceptional beyond that. So it was really looking for what differentiated guides, tour leaders from the other people who are all excellent. Very tricky.
Oh, indeed. Paul, how did you find it?
Yeah, I mean, it is, and I'm not going to reiterate any of John's words because he's spot on there. But also, I've been in this, like John, a long time. And when you think of most travel companies now, most of them, there are still some that exist, but most of them, it's a big pyramid and it's an ivory tower and it's corporate this and nonsense. And it's you have all the factors that ruin business, that ruin everything: fiefdoms, HR, reporting, meeting, all this nonsense. When travel companies are simple, you're just trying to offer something at a fair price, which people, you have all these forms that they have to fill in. You only need to ask one question: would you come back again? That's all you need to ask. And if the answer is yes, probably 80% of that will be down to the guide. Yes, it will. And imagine the state of some of their guests when they arrive. They've got big, powerful jobs. They're almost working until they get on the plane. They're all pumped up, hyped up, and suddenly they're arriving often in a developing world country. It's hard. It really is. And this job is getting harder for them.
Okay, Paul, before you carry on, because I know you would keep going and rabbiting on for hours, which is why we asked you to do a video. So let's hear from Paul about life as a tour guide, and let's get a first look at tonight's shortlisted guides. Take it away.
There are still travel companies that care, really genuinely care about the areas they visit, not just their balance sheets. They feature regularly in Wanderlust pages. They are truly concerned for the welfare of both their travellers and the local people. This counts for nothing, though, without their most critical asset, their guides. Anyone who thinks it's an easy job is mistaken, and it's getting harder. Leaders nowadays are under so much pressure even before they greet guests. Expectations are high, every thread, blog, pod and reel is ingested, yet still idiotic questions pervade. And a pick from this year's harvest include: can you get me tickets for Piccadilly Circus? What language do they speak in Spain? Do the wildebeest only cross on a Monday? And, I like this, what's the safest seat on the plane if it crashes? Then there are the constant ones. Are we your best group? Will I need my cardigan? Or would it be too hot for me? And of course, the constant mantra of itinerant one-upmanship. Doesn't matter what you've done, someone's done it better. I preferred Marrakesh in the 70s, or I particularly like this one. The headdress I'm wearing was given to me by the isolated Yanomami people in the Brazilian Amazon. They don't care what they're doing really on holiday, they just want to put one over the guide. What's wrong with a baseball cap anyway? Then of course these guides have to unpick the many different food requirements. I don't remember this 20 years ago. These are largely foods that people won't eat rather than can't. My favourite from this year is I can't eat purple foods. Of course you can't. 25 years ago, a guy did his or her, can I even say that now? His or her job, yes I can. Someone might fill in a questionnaire and then they flew home. Now it appears Twitter feeds, Instagram, pimping and primping and viral Facebook. Everything's viral. You know what viral means? It means more than 10 likes. Or Facebook postings underwrite and commentate on a leader's every move. Guidebook, binoculars and notepad have been replaced by Samsungs and iPhones. They record every remark and action, often to be forensically digested later before a vain and vacuous post. Guides are not well paid, and they shouldn't have to endure this rigorous examination, but they do, as they're driven by a far higher calling. We judges were weighed down by weapons-grade flattery for our Heaven 11. We trawled and truffled through acres of this prose. But some of it, you know, although well-intentioned, is not pertinent. When I read considerate, hard-working, professional and informative, it doesn't really butter my parsnips. It just means they're doing their job. But these 11, they're different. There is a ton of anecdotal evidence that suggests far more than just a flowery lexicon of adjectives. They are part Florence Nightingale and part Michael McIntyre. There's something of Edmund Hillary there with a whisper of the bard. There's a flash of Indiana Jones, a smattering of Ray Mears, a vestige of Greta, and just a dusting of Jamie Oliver. Lastly, and critically, there's more than a touch of Mother Teresa. These guides matter to you, to so many. They're not putting themselves forward for this award. They're far too selfless for that. They've left that to their legions of fans, followers and admirers. Their trinity of humility, fortitude and compassion are what drives them. So when you encounter them, as you surely will, you'll be in good company.
Oh, great. So, yeah, thank you for that, Paul. And I think that got over very well something of the the life of a guide and the expectations and some of the things they have to deal with, whether it's staff questions or incidents on the road. So, Paul, you are very much a guide yourself, as well as a photographer, broadcaster, and so on. And I didn't tell you, but you were nominated yourself yet again in the awards this year.
Well, a single figure number of nominations, I'd like to think. Yeah.
I'm not going to count how many, and of course it's not about the number, but obviously you're so involved with the awards, we can't really put you through. Well done yet again on getting the nominations. And John, you were a guide as well back in the day before moving on in travel. Did all that sort of ring a bell with you?
Oh God, I mean, certain things you just couldn't expect. Like there's this lady, I mean, I couldn't quite understand what she said, but after a while I understood, and that's she'd broken the top bit of her dentures and she needed to get those fixed, and it's in the back of beyond in the Taurus Mountains in Turkey. Or actually worse, more difficult than anything is when you have a bunch of journalists when you're taking those overseas. And I took some journalists to Iraq a few years ago, and one of the trickiest thing was trying to find a bar with beer at one stage. And Lynn, I believe you were one of those journalists actually. Anyway, mission accomplished. And
it was accomplished. Well done, John.
And the last thing was when I was doing the Inca Trail, and one of my customers, her thumb kept popping out of her joint and she'd faint. And it was a bit just below Puyo Patamarca, where you're on a narrow kind of path with the Urubamba plunging, 1,000 meters below. And what I did was she gripped my hand with her good hand. And when I felt that relaxed, it meant that she'd fainted. So then I'd have to fall into the side of the pathway to avoid her tumbling over. So that was a bit fraught that morning.
Yeah. Well, there's something, I mean, going through, there's just a few things I pruned out from the acres of prose, and John says this, just a load of adjectives is great, but there is amongst the 11, the Heaven 11, as I describe them, there is somebody there who found a group some booze during Ramadan. I mean, to me, massive respect. Oh, it may break a few codes. How on earth did someone do that? Particularly, how on earth did a girl do that? Another remark said the bus was stopped because the guide wanted to get out because he noticed that two ladies had broken down the other side of the road. I mean, this isn't showboating. That's extraordinary. Also, another one was getting an 80-year-old, I think, to Everest Base Camp. Now, there'll be people listening tonight who have struggled and failed. An 80-year-old. Now, that's down to the guide. And most importantly, the best way I always say, and I always say to anyone involved in this, is that when a guide, and there were a few remarks like this, makes a group or an individual feel like A, they're the best person, most special person they've ever guided, or B, they're probably the first, they've done their job. When at the end of a tour, safari, expedition, trek, whatever it is, that client looks the guide in the eye and says, you know, this has been life-changing. I would never have done this without you. You know, if that isn't enough for them, they should go and get another job. It's enough for me. And that's why they're here. And that's why they're on this cherished shortlist.
Mm. No, absolutely. Really well said. And I think you've touched on so many things there. They have to be able to deal with absolutely any situation that's thrown at them. They're going to be great communicators. They've got fantastic in-depth knowledge of stuff that comes through all the time in the testimonials. And also, of course, they come over as caring and compassionate people. Yeah. And that came through again and again and again.
But Lynn, it's not just about, you know, they're very well informed, they're knowledgeable, all of that stuff. If you're with people almost 24/7, that's why I said, you know, they've got to be a comedian. They've got to have a whole bank of gags and games and accents and languages and all of these things. Otherwise, they'll just be one of those informative guides. And those are 10 a penny.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, when we get on to some of the announcements, I know John and I will be talking through some of the respective qualities that really stood out. I noticed the chat box is busy this evening, so yes, do say hello in the chat box. Lovely to have so many of you in there. And I think it's time we got back, though, to the main event and who our 11 shortlists are. So we asked them to each send us a little video to introduce themselves. So let's hear from each of our guides.
Hi, this is Glenda Araya from Costa Rica and a wildlife tour guide. I've been working as a tour guide for 10 years and I really like to share the biological wonders of my beautiful country with people from all across the world. So if you want to reconnect with nature and experience the Costa Rica unique biodiversity, just come and enjoy Costa Rica to the fullest.
Hello, good morning or good afternoon, audience. How are you all doing? This is Malik. I'm saying hello to everybody to the World Guide Award ceremony over there. Saying I hope you are all doing very well. It's nice to talk to you all, you know. And have a good day. Thank you very much. And wish you all good luck. And wish myself very good luck. Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Telfer. At the moment I am in Bukhara, the beautiful historical city of Uzbekistan. And behind me, a madrasa, Islamic University from 16th century, and the beautiful tower of the Friday Mosque. I am a guide specialized on cultural and historical tours in Uzbekistan, and I have been doing this job since 2009. But I really enjoy all the things that I do as a guide, meeting different people and talking to them about our culture and history, and all of these are really amazing for me. Guiding different people from different backgrounds develops my empathy and gives a better understanding of my visitors and my country.
Hi, this is Jagat Naran Chaturvedi, wildlife guide from Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, MP, India. Being born inside the national park, and later on we had to move out because the national park extended the area, and we settled in the village called Tala. And I started my career being as a very young kid of the area, hardly 15 to 16 years old, when I became the guide. As the time went on, I learned about animals of the park, I learned about the vegetation of the park, and I learned about also the birds and reptiles, not focusing on one subject, focusing on everything, like enjoying the wilderness in totality. So I had to prepare myself actually for being as a wildlife guide. It's been more than 28 years since I was appointed, and up to now I am there as a wildlife guide. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Hamid Omzdou. I am a tourist guide in Morocco since 2010. I am working as a tour leader doing the whole country. So I decided to become a guide after studying history and civilization in Marrakech University. I was born and raised in a little village in the High Atlas Mountains. This dream to be a guide became to me because I was always dreaming about this job when I was little. I love to introduce my country to the other people. I love to teach them about the history of the country. I love to teach them about the cultures, the rich cultures that we have in Morocco. I like to take them to deep to learn mostly about the Muslims and the Berber culture in Morocco in the responsible way. So this is what I love mostly in this job. I shortlisted, this is the second time shortlisted here. Thank you very much.
Hi, I am Peter Momobasi, a trained and certified tour guide from Freetown, Sierra Leone, West Africa. I started doing tours since 2006 to date. Tour guiding is my economic activity. That's the job I love to do best. I have passion for it, and I've trained so many young boys and girls. Today, that is their own economic activity, which I love best. Tour guiding is my profession. Thank you all.
Hi, my name is Leila Hafiz and I'm half Saudi and half Italian.
I've been touring in Saudi Arabia for the past 3 years and I'm just loving it. Saudi Arabia is a new country to explore, and what I love most is the possibility and the opportunity to share the love of my country with the guests that come and visit us.
I tour guide in the city of Jeddah, which is my hometown, but I also work as a team leader for groups visiting the kingdom.
Being of two cultures allows me to communicate with my guests in a different way. The funny thing is that when my guests come and they find out that I'm half Saudi, they actually don't believe me. They think that I'm 100% Italian. Once they know this, it's like barriers go down and they feel more comfortable in talking with me, asking questions, and exploring truly what the culture of Saudi Arabia is. Ciao, ciao, ma salama.
I'm Phubashiva from Lukla, Nepal, gateway to Everest Base Camp. I'm a provincial high altitude trekking leader in Himalayan. Basically, I started to leading the group from 2018, but joined as a porter 2012 and permanent to assistant guide 2014. Being a guide, I would like to meet new people, get new experience, rebuild them our culture, and fulfill their dream to top up the adventure.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Ali from Saudi Arabia. I design and guide various kinds of tours, including wildlife, desert, archaeological, trekking, all tailored on my customers' preference, showing the beauty of my country. Connecting with people was such a big passion of mine that I have been a tour guide since 2001, long before Saudi Arabia opened to tourism. What I love most about tour guiding is learning about other cultures through my guests' eyes, but also discovering my own country through their own eyes. Tourism is a well-known way to bring people from different cultures close together. Being a tour guide, for me, it means to act as a facilitator between different sensibilities and ways of life, appreciating not only their differences, but also their uniqueness. And when I see some guests coming back to learn and see more about Saudi and its culture, I know I did a good job and my message went through.
My name is John Shepherd. I'm here at Pevensey Castle on the south coast of England in East Sussex. I actually live at Bexhill, which is about 8 miles away, a place well known now for its retirees, but that doesn't include me. I'm still working. I work for a company called Pre-Construct Archaeology, who carry out excavations as part of the development process, and I carry out research for that company. I am a Romanist by profession. That means I'm interested in the archaeology of the Roman Empire, and therefore I carry out guided tours for Andante Travels, part of the Specialist Journey Group, in countries such as Croatia, France, and of course Italy. I love taking guests around all of these sites. For Andante Travels, many of these guests, they already have a good understanding of archaeology. They want to learn more, they want to see more, they're full of questions. And my role when I'm with them is, of course, to educate and to enhance their education, but also it needs to be in an entertaining manner so they're nice and relaxed and they enjoy what is, in effect, their holiday. And my aim is to make sure that their expectations were well met and, if not, vastly exceeded.
Hello Wanderlust, I hope all is well with you. I'm the tour leader, Sanam Zawak from Morocco. I have been working as a tour leader for almost 5 years now. There's so many reasons why I love my job, but one of the main reasons is that being a tour leader made me feel empowered. I really appreciate the freedom I am given to add my touch or design my own tours, and by doing this I was able to create a relationship with local women who live in difficult situations and help provide them with an opportunity to generate an income to support their families. Another reason why I'm passionate about my job is that I get to travel across my country and meet with people from all over the world in all walks of life, and to learn more about my own country, Morocco. Also, as I get to travel across time and distance, and as I visit places where once stood palaces and where history was made, this made me feel that I'm making history in my own modest way by paving the way for other girls to join in and be part of the adventure too.
So there were our wonderful 11 guides and complete legends, all of them. And so wonderful to hear from each of them. And I see they're all getting lots and lots of love in the chat box, which is great to see. And yeah, doesn't it stir your soul, John?
It certainly does.
They're amazing. So we would love to give awards to all of them, but we do have to sort of divide it out a bit. And what we are going to do, this year we have 4 categories to which we're going to be announcing winners in before we move on to the Gold Award winner, who is the overall winner. So what I'm going to do, John and I are going to go through category at a time, and we hope in each case to get the guide on where possible. So first of all, first category up is history and culture. And the winner of this is John Shepherd. So John, if you can join us, if you have a link to join us, that would be amazing. So yeah, John Telfer, what have you got to say about John Shepherd?
Okay, first of all, I'll tell you the sort of thing which I won't talk about. And one of the comments were his enthusiasm for the tour was amazing and his knowledge was extraordinary, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time learning from him. Those kind of comments were for everybody, got them in one way or another. So I'll never repeat a comment like that. So a few things that really stood out. His whole tour made me more empathetic with the Romans. I mean, my God, for somebody to be able to do that, I truly take my hat off for them. You know, history and archaeology can be cold, hard facts, to be able to connect people down the ages. And somebody else said the same thing. He enabled us to visualize what it's like to live in past times, so he could connect people. And for that, he's the most worthy winner in my books.
Oh, I think, yeah, no, absolutely, really well said. I think, again, when he's getting congratulations to Mark. Oh, I hope this is John joining us.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but not see you. Is there a camera button at the top of your screen?
Yes, I see the camera button. It hasn't got a line through it, I'm afraid.
Oh. Well, John, it's lovely to speak to you, and if we can't see you.
Well, you saw what I was like in that little
well, exactly.
very embarrassing video that I did.
No, anyway, as John Telfer was just saying, obviously he was just quoting there from the testimonials, and I think you clearly have a gift at bringing places alive, and I do think that perhaps history and culture is almost more than anywhere where we need somebody to, when we look at something, to paint that picture for us.
Indeed, yes, a lot of it well, let me be very modest and say my skills is based as having been a museum archaeologist. I was with the Museum of London for almost 20 years, working with the presentation of all these wonderful, rich archaeological stories from London to the general public, to the audience. And you learn how to pitch it right, to keep people well informed and to give them lots of stories as well as knowledge. I mean, that's the important thing.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, you clearly are able to do that, and a real storyteller, which harks back to earlier on this evening when we talked about the importance of that. So, and I see that somebody in the chat box has put, go to Pompeii with John. He's almost a Roman.
Almost a Roman. Oh, yeah. Oh.
This is, I'm going to say, we can't see you, John, so I don't know if you're there in your toga. And
No, I'm not actually. You'd never get me in a toga. I have my limits. Okay.
Well, John, shame we can't actually see you, but thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, don't worry. Lovely to hear from you.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Really wonderful.
Yeah,
and good luck to everybody else. Thank you very much indeed.
Congratulations. Brilliant. So that was John. Yes, John the Roman, by the sounds of it. Okay, the next category, walking and outdoor. Always a highly contested category. There are some brilliant guides and tour leaders who were put forward to this. But in the end, amongst the judges, there was a very clear winner. And the winner of walking and outdoors goes to Perba Sherpa. Perba, if you have a suitable link, could you please join us? Let's see if we can see you. That would be amazing. So, John, and what were some of the comments about Perba?
I love the mountains. I've got a soft spot for anybody that works in the mountains. And reading these are just jaw-dropping. So one quote here: when an ice shelf that we're walking along collapsed spectacularly a few minutes after we crossed it, he stopped and made sure that we were physically okay, but also mentally prepared to continue. Showing that deep empathy. Next one: someone had to leave our Everest Base Camp trek, and he caught the chopper down. Perba caught the chopper back down with the customer, then ran back to join us. Unbelievable. Managed to get 20 unfit people to base camp and back. I mean, perhaps there are people here that are not aware of what the trek is like to Everest Base Camp, but it's tough, it's long, it's multiple days, it's at high altitude, extremes of temperature, and to have 20 mixed ability people and to keep them happy and safe and to get them there is out of this world. And lastly, very quickly, for making us feel genuinely at one with his team and our entire group. So he's not just kind of knows what route to take. He's a people person as well.
Incredible. So Perba, are you there? Perba? I'm hoping Perba can join us. Sounds like we nearly had him there for a moment. We'll give him a moment or two longer. But yeah, I mean, looking at Perba's bio, I mean, he started like so many did in the Himalayas as a porter, and then worked his way up. And it really struck me going through the testimonials about the passion he brought out in people. And like you say, John, it wasn't just about, the routes or everything and keeping people safe, but it was that whole teamwork and making them feel really good about themselves.
And in the past, I've been in the position where I've been responsible for recruitment and training of leaders, and you just look at the comments there, and you just know that that is a person that you'd want your groups to travel with. Is off the scale.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Okay, well, I know Purba was going to be watching us from, of course, the time difference is immense, and I'm sure he is watching. But maybe he's got tech problems out in Nepal. So if you can join us at any point, Purba, that would be brilliant. But yeah, if not, well, we'll be in touch. And massive congratulations to Purba Sherpa. Fantastic. Right, the next category is wildlife and safari. And this is always a good one and always so difficult. There are so many amazing wildlife guides. But for tonight, to announce tonight's winner and give us the testimonial, I want to invite on, I think one or it might be two of UK's best known naturalists and TV presenters. So let's see if we can get Chris Packham on and Megan McCubbin to come on. And yeah, as I say, every year we've had some incredible wildlife guides, safari guides over the years. And again, it comes down to not just knowing their animals, but it comes down to being able to communicate that, to get people excited, and to generally, it's with wildlife, of course, it's also when the wildlife doesn't appear, which, as everybody knows, can happen on a wildlife trip.
Yep, managing expectations is key, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And yeah, absolutely. So what do you do when things don't appear? Here they are, Chris and Megan. Wonderful to see you.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Now, I know that you both have personal knowledge of this particular guide. So can you tell us, first of all, who it is?
Well, we are extraordinarily excited to announce that the winner this year is Malik Suso in the Gambia. Malik, I mean, Meg's met him how long ago?
I think I was about 4 years old when I first met Malik and got to know the Gambia. And I've known him ever since. In fact, I'm doing a tour with him there next February. So it's come around in a whole big circle. And I've known Malik most of my life, and there isn't.
That's 24 years.
24 years.
24 years Meg's has known him.
Yeah.
And I had the great good fortune to meet Malik in the 1990s. And I worked with him for very many years. I miss him. I haven't been to the Gambia for the last few years. I consider Malik to be, firstly, a great friend, and I have few friends in the world. So he's on a very short list there. But he is the most remarkable guide and the most remarkable birder. First of all, his birding skills are outstanding. I've described him as the best birder that I've ever met, and I stand by that. His ability to find birds, know where birds are, connect with them, call them up, bring them close to people is beyond comprehension. And all of the people that I've ever been with Malik, have testified to that. But also, as Paul intimated in his introductory film, there's so much more to the just, finding birds, finding wildlife. Malik, he's a top bloke. Everyone loves him. Everyone has always come away, haven't they, from every trip that we've been on.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is years and years and years, just, loving him. A gentle, kind, forgiving, considerate, involving, engaging person, speaks freely about his community, his country, his passion for protecting that country and its wildlife. A truly remarkable man. And I just, having been all around the world and have worked with Paul Goldstein, and I did vote for him.
You were the one.
Yeah, Paul has extraordinary talents too, of course. But hand on heart, you know, Malik is amazing, isn't he? And we could regale you all night with stories of adventures that we've had with Malik. But the most important thing is everyone always loved him.
Always love him. He's one of the kindest souls ever, and you learn so much from him every time you go out. So, you know, he's just so willing to share his knowledge and just share the knowledge that he has about his culture and the wildlife. So we're so thrilled and so proud of you, Malik. Well done. We're honestly so happy, and we can't wait to see you.
Hey, listen, when we heard the news that he'd won, we were working on Springwatch, and I got an email and a WhatsApp subterfuge it was, and I ran into Megan's sort of caravan thing, and we leapt up and down like a couple of children when we heard that he'd won, because nothing could be more deserved. He's just a truly remarkable, lovely human being, and that for me is, you know, above his skills as a guide. He's just a top bloke, isn't he? Really
love him to pieces. He's
and
great.
all the times that, you know, so Megs is 28, right? So she met him 24 years ago. She was a child, and you know, and Malik used to hold her hand and lift her up to peer through the scope and loan her his binoculars, and you know, and take you to catch crabs.
Yeah.
And take you to the market.
Yeah, to the market, go to the sewage works, all of that kind
Oh,
of
the
stuff. But he'll be very
sewage
pleased
works.
to know that this time I've got my own binoculars, so I won't need to pinch yours anymore.
Malik, congratulations. We love you dearly, and this is a much-deserved award.
Congratulations.
Oh, Malik, if you can join us, see if you've got a link that works, that would be brilliant. And then meanwhile, thank you so much to Chris and to Megan and all the other people who nominated Malik, of course. But thanks, guys, for coming on tonight. Much appreciated.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure, of course.
It's great to hear about all these amazing guides and all the incredible work that's being done.
Tough competition.
Really, I wouldn't want to be a judge, so I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you do it. We've been sat here thinking, we'd like to go on a trip with them, like to go on a trip with them, like to go on a trip with them.
That sounds good. That sounds nice.
I think, no, it's so true. Every single one of these deserves a top prize. They're absolute wonderful individuals and really inspirational. And Megan, yeah, it does sound like as if, you know, you've been really inspired since such an early age by Malik, and it's wonderful to hear. Yeah,
I've learned a lot through him, through his tours, and just through, you know, all the chats that we've had on long, you know, hot coach buses, going to visit lots of different places. But yeah, some of my fondest memories as a child is going to the Gambia, and every time we'd meet up with Malik, and yeah, it's lots of special memories with Malik and his family.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chris and Megan, for coming on. Much appreciated. Oh, how brilliant to get the testimonials there from Chris and Megan. We're just seeing if Malik can come on. I know it's not always easy, and Malik is, of course, in the Gambia. We did send him a link earlier. But I think Chris and Megan did a really good job up there to sum up some of the excitement and passion for Malik, and we got quite a few nominations for him, and equally as passionate about him. But
and people that are interested in animals and birds, I mean, they are very specific, and they've got extremely high expectations from the people that take them out to these places. So it's an added level of complexity over just normal guiding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, I'm not sure we're going to be lucky enough to get Malik on either. Which, Roger Whittaker saying lovely words from Chris and Megan indeed. See if Malik appears. If any of the previous guides have got the tab open, can you just make sure you close it? Because I don't know if that is stopping anybody getting on. So any previous guide who has come on or tried to come on, just make sure you've got your tab closed that you tried using for the best chance of the next guide to come on. Okay. So that was wildlife and safari, and I think we are going to have to move on. Malik, as you say, you're much loved and much appreciated. So the next category is the tour leader category. Now, this was a particularly tough category because I know this was the one that took the longest to judge, John, didn't it?
It did. We backed and forth, see who had the kind of marginal advantage over the others. So it wasn't a straightforward decision.
Yeah. Oh, Malik! Hey! You made it. Oh,
I made it, yeah. I was struggling a lot, in to connect on the link, actually, Yes. This is me, Malik Suso. Just as Chris stated, I've been on bird watching, guide for 28 good years. It's my uncle, who has been the first bird guide in the Gambia, and then he's the one who inspired me. So bird watching has been in my system, in my blood. I love the bird.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. I love the birds. And I love, introducing people, from scratch. I've made people interested on birds, and then made them buy their binoculars and all the equipment, from scratch. Actually, yes. This is me. I've been doing this for 28 good years, and then bird watching is my
you
passion.
Don't look old enough. You don't look old enough, Malik. And I also read, because we had a lot of fantastic testimonials for you, and I also read in there that you have been training other guides in the Gambia. You yourself trained guides.
I have trained nearly 9 to 10 people, 4 girls and then 6 boys. And then as at now, I'm working with 2 girls with 4 boys as at now. So like when you book me, if I'm very busy, I will ask you, whether you are interested, for me to introduce or for me to link you with somebody else who is working with me directly. So if you are happy, you are with those guys. So they have the same knowledge as I have, because I train them very well from my footsteps, from what I do from scratch, So they are just like whenever you go with my trainees, it's like you are out with Malik.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, so that's wonderful to hear that you're bringing on the next generation of guides, and including women. And in fact, we had more women nominated this year than ever before. Well, thank you so much, Malik, for joining us live from the Gambia. Congratulations again. Really fantastic testimonials. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Thank you too. Thank you so much, and thank you for everybody, who has, contributed in this thing, as well. Thank you so much.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Chris and Megan, they've been my wonderful people, as well,
Yeah. You've really inspired them. Thanks.
Yes, definitely.
Good night. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Okay.
Right.
Isn't it lovely to be able to be involved in this and celebrating all these people? It's fantastic.
Oh, I know. And like I say, the fact that, as I was just saying, Malik is clearly trying to bring on the next generation of guides, both men and women. And in doing so as well, of course, creating opportunities. It's really, really inspiring story. Anyway, so let's get back to tour leader category. Oh, I think Malik, probably. Malik, if you can hear us, close your tab. I think that was probably some Gambia sounds there. Right. I wish we had longer to talk to him as well. Oh, very frustrating. But anyway, there you go. So, tour leader category, we're just saying how difficult it was. It was the most difficult category probably of all. We were going backwards and forwards, and it was so little to choose between them. So in the end, John, there was only one thing we could do, wasn't there? And we decided to have joint winners. It was heartbreaking. It would have been really unfair, I think, to have chosen one over the other out of these two. So the 2 tour leaders, and apologies if I don't pronounce your name right, and I hope you can come on and join us. We've got Ali Al-Alagi from Saudi Arabia, and Sarah Lamzouak from Morocco. Both incredible tour leaders. So if you're there, please do try and join us. It would be really good. So, tour leaders, John, and you know a lot about tour leaders, having had many work for you over the years and so on.
Oh, yes. So we're going beyond the excellence to the exceptional. And for me, part of being exceptional is making a connection with people, connecting people to other cultures, other localities. So for Ali, I'll start off with Ali. It was the connection with the locals. One quote: "He will welcome you as one of the locals." So it's not a question of being separate. And it, you know, guide and group and country can be slightly separate. A great tour leader or guide merges the three together. You know, another common emphasize this: he was like a family member whom you could trust, non-judgmental. When it came to facts, it wasn't just about facts, it's context as well. So he has a global understanding of how Saudi Arabia relates to many other parts of the world, so was able to connect events and facts to those that we are more familiar with. And the last one that I'll read out. Now, at the end of a 2-week tour, when I was a leader, okay, I wasn't as good as any of these people, obviously, but you know, you might get a tip or something. But Ali took it to one stage further here. So one of his customers wrote, "Ali took me to dinner as his guest and introduced me to his son. I then went on to paint a portrait of him representing the hospitality of all we met in Saudi Arabia." What an amazing thing.
Oh, incredible. Ali, I hope you were blushing through all of that. And Sarah, so fantastic. You managed to join us too. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations, Sarah.
Congratulations, Ali. Thank you.
I mean, it was so tough. So before we speak to you, John, what were a couple of the amazing testimonials about Sarah?
Right, this is very short, very simple, but oh so important, and makes everybody feel special. I mean, everybody wants to feel special, but not everybody feels special. And obviously, you're the kind of person that allows that to happen. Another one was, "I knew I could ask her anything without any judgment, just kindness. She added so many personal touches with the activities and dinners with the locals. She put us together other amazing things for us, like a henna party. She showed us a different side of Morocco." And finally, again, simple, but it resonated with me. "She made us laugh and she made us cry with a humanitarian heart." So thank you.
That's wonderful. And oh gosh, you know, here we had such a difficult job with this one, but you two just stood out. You were both such worthy winners. Oh dear, Sarah seems to have disappeared. We'll hopefully get her back in a sec. So
No,
Ali,
you
can hear. Good. Okay,
well,
brilliant.
I would like to say thank you, Wanderlust, for this. I feel like I'm a winner already. I'm really happy about this opportunity, and it's been like a dream for me to participate at the Wanderlust World Guide Awards since I got my certificate in 2018. So I'm really happy to be here, and thank you, Lynn, and congratulations, Ali, and good luck.
Oh, fantastic. So Sarah, you're, I mean, one of the notable things this year where there were so many more female guides, which is great to see. How has it been? I think a lot of people wouldn't necessarily associate, correct me if I'm wrong, Morocco with female guides. How is it being a female guide, if that's not too awkward a question?
Well, in being a female tour guide in Morocco, it definitely comes with its set of challenges, especially that the male domain in Morocco, it's a male-dominated industry. So but I feel like the most challenge I have encountered is as being on
like gender bias. Like sometimes, like my colleagues are even like customers, they question my skills or like my expertise and abilities to lead a successful trip. So, and I feel like always, like all the time, that as a female tour leader, I have always to go the extra mile and do extra work just to be noticed, and also to gain that respect and from colleagues as well as customers. But I feel honestly like I'm so proud of the things I've achieved so far, and I feel like I'm just paving the way for other females to join in and be part of the adventure too. So like this is the first step. Like winning this competition is like the first step. So I hope to see more female tour. We do have like female tour guides like in Marrakesh, Fast, etc. But tour leaders, you don't see that much because we get like to spend time outside of our homes and all of that. But it's an adventure for me, and I always look for adventures, and I'm really happy about the thing I achieved so far. And thank you, Wanderlust, for giving me this opportunity. And I want to say special thank you for my family that been with me since day one. And I want to say thank you for the companies I work with, and thank you for my travelers. Like they have shown me so much love, and I want to say to them, like if they're watching, that I love you back, and I'm here now. So
fantastic. Thank you so much, Sarah. I mean, I think you're doing a great job there as a role model and, as a pioneer. And so congratulations. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah. And Ali, just turning to you.
Yep.
So, and it's the first time we've had a winner as well from Saudi Arabia, which of course is very much opening up to tourism at the moment.
Of course.
Yeah.
You could see who's the sponsor here. Is Al Ola, right?
Oh yes, which is completely unrelated before anybody says anything.
So
and you're not in Alula, are you?
I'm not in Al Ola actually, but I tour people around the country, including Al Ola, which is one of the most magnificent spaces around the world. I said spaces, not sites, because it is really a big museum. You could just drive through and you cannot stop there. Being a tour leader just give me an opportunity to just explore Al Ola, which is part of my country, and makes me really proud to deliver it. And as Sarah was saying, it is an adventure. Being a tour leader is not just being a problem-solving person, connecting processes from a tour company to another accommodation company and so on, but also is trying to make them work together for the best of your tourists. And that is what's the most really amazing and fascinating feeling, when you find things that nobody has connected them together and works better. And probably the tourists or the voters who wrote little things about me is that the people who's got the taste of that results I had done before. And lastly, I just can't thank enough Wanderlust to give me this opportunity to be one of the first Saudis to compete. And I have no idea if another Saudi could compete with me to be one of the winners, but hopefully every year you will see more Saudis competing here, because Saudi is coming to rock the industry of tourism very hard.
Was absolutely. Well, thank you so much, both of you. You're both so inspirational. You are both our tour leaders of the year. You're magnificent, both of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that wonderful?
It was.
So good to have them. Yeah. So, as we say goodbye to Sarah and Ali, we have one more award to give, and that is the Gold Award winner. Now, some years in the Wanderlust World Guide Awards, it's a category winner. Sometimes it's somebody completely different. But to find out who it is this evening, we are going to go back to Claire Golding of Alula, who will let us know.
So this individual has been described as not only an amazing guide, but a wonderful human full of kindness, care, and compassion. And another nominator said, he helped us see the trip as an intimate community and cultural experience. So tonight, the Gold Award winner is Hamed Oumzadou from Morocco. Congratulations.
Great, thank you, Claire. So Hamed, if you're watching and if you've got a link, please do join us. Be terrific if you could join us. And as Claire said, she had a couple of the quotes about Hamed, and Hamed really stood out amongst everybody. I mean, it was all so tough, but Hamed was such an all-rounder. People talked about how he brought everybody together, made them feel special, made groups feel special, but such a caring person as well, always helping others, loved everywhere that people go in Morocco, loved and respected. And yeah.
What about that customer who dropped his GoPro and it fell 200 foot down an icy gorge and they kind of just couldn't see it at all? And then a few days later, Hamid quietly produced the GoPro back to the customer in Marrakesh. He found some people to find it.
Hello. Thank you very much. So please forgive me, no words, all gone. I couldn't say. It's my heart speaking now, so the heart just throw in the words. Thank you very much. Oh, just I will tell everyone that today it's Eid. It's a big feast in my village. So now it's 2 Eids. All the village will celebrate another Eid tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we won't keep you too long because I know you'll want to go and celebrate with your village. But
thank you very much.
Yeah, the love, the care, the passion all came through. And I think we all want to travel with you as well at some point in the future.
You are very welcome at any time. The first one to enjoy every trip, it's me first. Enjoying the trip and then my customers then. So I was born to do this job, to be honest, because from my beginning of my life in this village, I grew up from the beginning. It's like I know that I dreamed that I will be a tour leader. I will be a guide.
It's always been there somehow in your DNA.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Wanderlust. So you become a part of my family because this is the second time shortlisted. And thank you, all the guides. You are winners, all of you, and thank you for giving this opportunity to recognize the leaders and the guides in the world. Because thank you, the other guys that they speak about the hard job that we have, but it's hard, but we enjoy it because if you just as a leader, we need to do this job by our heart, since we meet the customers until the end. Thank you very much.
Wow.
As I said, thank you to all my friends, all my guides the guides in Morocco. Thank you to Intrepid company as well that I work with since 2015. And I can keep talking the whole night because I just worried about how I can tell my mother, because if I tell her that, she will die by joy.
Oh no! Oh, Hamid, bless you. Well,
to be honest, I hide that to her because I didn't. She needs the time to understand and deal, but she will be very happy. Everyone and. So it's wonderful. I'm very privileged to be honest, and thank you everyone, all my friends that they nominated me. Thank you for all the people that they've been with me since 2010 until now.
Thank you, Hamid. That's beautiful words, and I'm sure your mother will very much appreciate it. Hope it goes well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Very well done. It was excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
amazing.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamid. Oh, how wonderful. Right. So, very worthy gold winner. But of course, what we mustn't forget was the rest of the shortlist, because it was such a strong shortlist and made the judging very difficult. And so we will be awarding a highly commended to the other 5 people on our shortlist. John, what did you think? Any words of wisdom here?
Oh, I mean, all of these people, I would love to travel with them on their tours. I mean, as we're going through all this, I mean, remind me, Lynn, how many people were nominated initially?
We had over 3,000 nominations.
Remember, you know, shortlist out of 3,000, you know, these people here are excellent people, and all I can say is to encourage them to keep on doing what they're doing. You know, let's see what happens in the future, and hopefully they'll make it to the top in future years.
No, absolutely. We often find that the same way Hamid said he'd been shortlisted before, and who else earlier said they'd been shortlisted before. We do tend to see some names come back again and again, because of course they are so excellent. And yeah.
And you know, you should be very proud of yourselves. I mean, pride is not a good emotion sometimes, but you know, to get to where you have, be proud of who you are and what you do and how you do it.
No, absolutely. You are all remarkable. And again, yes, I would happily travel with any of you, and I hope that I will one day. So that was our highly commended. And so I think all that's left really is just to say thank you, a few thank yous. So massive thank you to Alula and to Swarovski for supporting the awards this year. To the wonderful judging panel, and I think I convinced you, John, it would be very straightforward and easy. And of course, I was lying, white lie.
I knew you were lying. I knew you were lying.
But yeah, it's you know, no, had cracking judges, of course, who put their hearts and souls into it. Want to thank everybody who nominated, many of whom be on tonight, and I know we've also heard from many who couldn't make it tonight, but have hoped we recorded it, and indeed we have recorded it, and we'll be making that available. The winners and the highly commended will be on the website, the Wanderlust website, right after this event. So if you've missed anything, you can go and have a look at that as well. And they'll also be in the magazine, Wanderlust magazine. The next one is on sale on the 20th of next month. So thank you so much again for watching. Congratulations to all our amazing guides. And thank you, John, and to the other judges. And good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.